You've worked hard to earn and save. Now it's time to make your money work hard for you. This is Empower Your Retirement with Frank and Frankie Guida of A Better Way Financial.
Glad to have you spending some time here with financial and retirement planners, Frank and Frankie Guida of A Better Way Financial, and abetterwayfinancial.com is where to start the conversation about your retirement plan. And when it comes to money, intelligence, and financial opportunities, so many people look towards the rich and the famous because whether or not they are just surrounded by smart people or they are smart themselves, it's like, what's that guy doing? And talk about somebody who is smart and is living like a whole new career in his retired life. NBA Hall of Famer. I mean, he doesn't even need a full name. You just say the name Shaq, and immediately the face comes to mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is he is such a legend in his own time. Shaquille O'Neal. What's interesting is, again, this second career that he is living out. I mean, the man just continues to educate himself. He is a huge proponent of financial literacy. I think he does talk about just all the money mistakes. He's very open about money mistakes he's made in his younger years. He is actually currently out with a money management podcast called The Break Room, where in one episode, he was explaining Shaquille O'Neal said, his greatest investment. And this is what he said.
I used to see this rich guy, really rich, older, 80, old Rolls Royce. And I asked him, I said, how? And he taught me a word I never heard. Yeah, Shaq, you need to invest in an annuity. And I never knew what it was. And I looked it up because I was making so much money from commercials and all, I didn't know what to do with it. And he's like, yeah, all this money you're making, if you put it away, you can invest it and you can start collecting at 50, 60, and 70. So that was my greatest investment.
Frank Guida, in your book, the book on retirement, A Better Way to Stretch Your Retirement Dollars, Chapter 15 is all about annuities. And I was laughing. The very first line of this chapter is, want to know just how confusing they can be? And then you go on to talk about how a lot of annuity salespeople, they don't even know about annuities themselves. Obviously, Frank, you wrote this book in effort to offer people more education on their savings. If you go to our website, abetterwayfinancial.com, click on the media tab and choose the book option, you can actually download a free chapter of the book, find a way to purchase the book, also learn how you can get a complimentary full copy of the book. But guys, the conversation around annuities, it just tends to be very confusing. Let's break it down. The good, the bad, the ugly, because not all annuities are good. For those who don't truly understand them, what are they? How can they help somebody's retirement picture? What do we need to know?
Well, you have multiple kinds of annuities.
Yeah.
And that's the confusing part because, people will read something that maybe says something negative about an annuity and they'll think, oh, all annuities are bad,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what? That's simply not true.
Or they'll have a friend or colleague who had a bad experience with annuity. They're like, "Don't get annuities.
Right.
It sucked for me." So and then they think, "All right, well, annuities suck, so I'm not going to take it."
And to be honest, there are definitely annuities out there that are not good. I mean, some of them are loaded with fees, and the performance has been horrible, and that type of thing. And people have a right to shy away from those.
Yeah.
However, there are annuities out there that are outstanding at the things that they do, and people really need to know about those.
Right.
Here at A Better Way Financial, we use annuities for two different purposes. One is to create income. A lot of folks today don't have a pension or don't have a pension that's going to pay them enough income.
Right.
So they need to supplement it with income from their portfolio, their 401ks or IRAs or non-qualified funds, whatever it is. They need to have more income coming into their homes so they can actually create their own pension. Because a pension is simply an annuity. That's all. If you work for a company and they have a nice pension, all it is an annuity, and it's paying you out money. Sometimes people say, well, I don't like annuities. And then you say, well, do you have a pension? Yeah, I have a pension. Do you like that? Yeah. Well, that's an annuity.
Right. Right. Well, the confusion that we were just talking about, the confusion continues. People don't understand. They don't have the full knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. And so when you look at, people who need more income coming in, and they don't have enough from a pension or whatever, they can create their own pension, carve out a piece of their portfolio, put it into an annuity with the design to create income for them throughout their retirement years. And when you compare them to pension, the regular annuities that you get from a pension, we have some that we offer that I think are head over heels better. And a lot of folks think that way as well, because the problem with a regular pension, let's say you take a pension and you take a single life option, meaning the highest payout possible, and it's only on your life. You pass away. I mean, you can have that annuity for 1 month and get hit by the proverbial pickle truck and pass away, and that annuity income is gone, and all that time you put into that company to create that pension, it's all gone. And even if you have a pension that will pay out to your spouse as well, if the two of you are in the car and you get hit by the pickle truck, again, it's gone. And people just don't like that. So there are annuities today that will pay out for as long as either one of you are living. So those are the types of annuities we're using. And the other thing is, too, what happens is, there's a sum of money that you're putting in. In these types of annuities that we'll use here for income, it'll pay out that income. And when you have drained out your money, it will continue to pay out that income for as long as either one of you are living. So the money that you put into that annuity will pay out that income. And if, God forbid, something happens to you and your spouse or you, whatever's left in that annuity will then go to your beneficiaries.
Of your original investment. So if there is still money left, there's a death benefit option. Got it.
Exactly. So even if you have a spouse and it's going to pay you out for as long as either one of you is living, if you both happen to pass away young and there's still money in that portfolio, that will then go to your kids or your beneficiaries. And people really, really like that.
Yeah, and then another way that we use these is that we can use them to get a safe, steady growth investment as well. So a lot of people look at safe investments as CDs, money markets, bank accounts, checking, savings, things like that. But the annuity can also be an investment that you can get growth when the markets go up, but none of the losses when markets go down.
Okay.
So it's a way that we design it to be able to get strong growth when the markets are doing well without having to have the heartache and the risk of a major market crash pulling down on that type of investment stream. So it's another way that we're able to design this. And, a lot of people have annuities out there. So if you have an annuity and you don't necessarily know exactly how it works, come on and bring it in, and we'll be able to do an annuity x-ray and look at what does your annuity do? What are the pros of how it works? What are the cons of how it works? And just really dissect it for you. And we'll be able to look into what is the purpose of this annuity, and is it accomplishing what you designed it for and what you wanted it to do for you? We were actually just meeting with a couple the other day. They just retired. They were in their late 60s. They had 2 kids. And they wanted to not have to worry about their finances. They had a lot of money that was in safe money investments. Okay. They didn't want to take a lot of risk with their investments. They wanted to keep it protected and not really have to worry about what happened with the markets. And what we were able to show them is, look, you guys want to live on about $70,000 of income per year. You guys saved about $1.5 million. You've done an excellent job saving. Let's make sure that we can get that income for you the way that you need it in your retirement. So they had their Social Security. It was providing about $57,000 of income per year, but they didn't have any pension income. So they needed an additional $13,000 of income.
Okay.
And what we did is we put about $180,000 from their portfolio into an income annuity that was going to work like a pension and provide that additional $13,000 of income.
Okay.
And then we set up the rest of the portfolio where some of it would be invested in the growth fixed index annuity and some of it would be invested in the market account. Now, with their risk tolerance, they didn't like risk, so we put the majority of it in the growth fixed index annuity because they didn't want it to go down at all.
Okay.
They didn't want to take a lot of risk.
And we were able to show them how using your portfolio, changing your portfolio a bit, and utilizing the annuities that we do, it was able to give them a potentially higher return. When we looked at their portfolio performance since 2000, it was like under 2.4%. But by using these annuities, and we looked at the return since 2000, we could show a return over 6.2, over 6.25%. That made a tremendous difference. We were able to show them how they could go from $70,000 a year in income to $107,000 a year in income.
Really?
It was an incredible difference for these folks and one that they really, really appreciated.
Sure.
So if you're concerned about your income in retirement and you want to make sure that you have the maximum income that you can live on with all the things that you've done and all the things that you've accumulated throughout your lifetime, go to abetterwayfinancial.com and click on the Book a Time to Talk with Us button, and we can begin to have this conversation with you.
Thanks for listening to Empower Your Retirement with Frank and Frankie Guida. To learn more, visit abetterwayfinancial.com.
By contacting us, we'll review aspects of your retirement portfolio to include suggestions about how best to utilize estate, tax, and retirement planning strategies and other financial services, or if changing management styles is appropriate for your specific needs and objectives. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendations to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. A Better Way Financial is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any client experiences discussed during this show are unique to that client, and they are not meant to imply or suggest you will experience the same results. Advisory services offered through A Better Way Financial. Insurance offered through licensed professionals at A Better Way Financial. Pennsylvania Insurance License number 301779.